My wife's friend looked her up and down, smirked, and said, "Wow, you look comfy." That one word, it wasn't a compliment. It was a quiet, calculated insult. So I decided something right then. I wouldn't fight back. I'd just agree with her. And I've been doing it for years. If you've ever dealt with fake friends, passive-aggressive insults, or people who smile to your face but cut you down quietly, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice isn't loud, it's clever. And trust me, this one gets beautifully petty. It all started with a wedding. Not just a wedding, a 3-day marathon disguised as a celebration. My wife's friend, the kind of person who thrives on attention, planned every detail like it was the royal wedding. Multiple events, multiple outfits, multiple chances to prove something. And we showed up. Day one, a late-night dinner that didn't even start until 9 p.m. By the time the food came out, small talk had already drained every ounce of social energy I had. 3 hours later, when I thought we were finally done, she drops it casually. "Okay, now we're all going dancing." I remember glancing at my wife. Her smile was polite, but her eyes, exhausted. We both had work the next day, responsibilities, real life. So we told her we'd join for dinner, but we couldn't stay for dancing. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The next morning at brunch, she made sure everyone knew. "Oh my God, last night was so fun," she said loudly, laughing. "Even the older people stayed, and the kids. Everyone made an effort." That word, effort, hung in the air like a subtle accusation. I felt it. My wife felt it. But we just smiled. Because sometimes it's easier to let things go than to create tension. Day two was even worse. 2 separate ceremonies, 2 different dress codes, 2 more rounds of dressing up, smiling, socializing, pretending. By the time we got home that night, my wife kicked off her heels and just sat there in silence. You know that kind of silence, the kind where your body is still, but your brain is screaming? Yeah, that one. And then came day 3, the final brunch. We woke up early again. My wife stood in front of the mirror, doing her hair for the 4th time in 3 days, carefully applying makeup, adjusting her outfit. I watched her the whole time, not because she needed to impress anyone, but because she wanted to show up right. That's who she is. She cares. We arrived at the brunch. People were chatting, laughing, clinking glasses, the usual post-wedding glow. And then her friend walked over. She looked my wife up and down, paused, smiled, and said, "Oh, hi, babe. Wow, you look comfy." Now, if you've never experienced that tone before, let me explain it. It's not the word, it's the delivery. That slight head tilt, the half smile, the pause before the word like she's choosing something polite, but landing on something just insulting enough. Comfy didn't mean relaxed, it meant lazy. It meant you didn't try hard enough. And after 3 days of effort, that hit. I saw it in my wife instantly. That tiny flicker in her expression, the microsecond where her confidence cracked. But she recovered, smiled, nodded, brushed it off. Later, she told me she's probably just stressed from the wedding. And maybe she was, but I wasn't buying it. Because stress doesn't create character, it reveals it. That's when I made a decision. Not a loud one, not a dramatic one, a quiet one. I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to argue. I was going to do something better. I was going to agree with her forever. The next time we saw her at a gathering, I waited, watched. She walked in late, of course, made an entrance, of course, and when she came over smiling like nothing ever happened, I hit her with it. "I love how you don't care about vanity, like you just go with that natural look. It's refreshing." She paused, just for a second. Her brain was trying to process it. Was that a compliment or not? She smiled, but it was tighter this time. That's when I knew this was going to work. From that point on, it became a game. Every gathering, every interaction, a new compliment, carefully crafted, perfectly balanced between polite and unsettling. "You look super comfy today," I'd say. Or, "I wish I had your confidence to show up whenever. I'm always stuck being on time." Or my personal favorite, "It's honestly inspiring how you just don't care what people think." Each time, the same reaction, that slight hesitation, that flicker of doubt, that mental calculation. Because she couldn't call me out. What was she going to say? Stop complimenting me? And the best part? Other people started noticing. Not the words, but the reactions. They'd look at her, then at me, like something felt off, like there was a joke happening just beneath the surface that they couldn't quite hear. Meanwhile, my wife? At first, she didn't even realize what I was doing. But one day, after a gathering, she looked at me and said, "Wait, are you doing that on purpose?" I smiled, and when it clicked, she laughed harder than I'd seen in weeks. Not because it was mean, but because it felt like balance had been restored. Here's the thing about people like that. They rely on subtlety. They rely on the fact that most people won't call them out, that their words are just ambiguous enough to avoid consequences. So when you respond in the same language, they can't fight back. They can only feel it. And I've kept it going for months, years. Every interaction, a new compliment. Not aggressive, not obvious, just enough to make her question herself, the same way she made my wife question herself that day. The real payoff isn't a big confrontation. There's no dramatic explosion, no shouting match. It's quieter than that. It's watching her smile, but not fully. It's seeing that tiny hesitation every time I speak. It's knowing that somewhere in her mind she's thinking, "Was that an insult?" And for the first time, she doesn't feel completely in control. And my wife? She stopped second-guessing herself, stopped shrinking, because now she knows it was never about her. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge isn't loud or destructive. It's subtle. It's speaking someone else's language and letting them hear exactly what they've been saying all along. So tell me, what's the most perfectly subtle revenge you've ever seen or pulled off? Drop it in the comments. And if you love stories where justice is slow, clever, and just a little bit petty, hit subscribe, like the video, and stick around. Because trust me, some of the best revenge takes time.